Alright, so today I want to talk to you about why I'm opposed to any more wars. First off, we haven't had a declared war since World War II, and the Japanese, and what we fought Vietnam, Bosnia, uh, a whole bunch of other little small conflicts. Vietnam, Korea, um, Afghanistan, Iraq, and a whole bunch of other little tiny little wars. Oh, Iraq twice, sorry. Um, oh, and Georgia or whatever. Um, but why I'm opposed to one, Syria. What's going on in Syria? Syria, well, there's basically a civil war going on in there, and it's basically a proxy war between the West, us, and us and some and our allies, um, backing the rebels. Who are the rebels? Oh, backing the rebels versus um, the Syrian government, which is backed by basically Iran and Russia. Well, mainly Russia, but Iran's in there too. Um, and basically, this is pretty much a proxy war, like a Cold War type proxy war that's playing out right now. And the messed up thing about it is who is the rebels that we're backing. Well, since we're backing the rebels. The rebels are Al Qaeda. Um, the main, there's two groups that are involved in the rebels. There's a Free Syrian Army, and then there's Al Nusra Front, which is Al Qaeda. The Free Syrian Army is basically moderates, I think. Um, but the Free Syrian Army their membership is shrinking, while Al Qaeda's membership is growing, and we've been supplying arms and intelligence and all non-lethal aid to Syria, to the Syrian rebels, basically Al Qaeda. We're funneling arms. Well, we don't have the proof, but Benghazi. um, what was going on in Benghazi? That's what I want to know. What happened in Benghazi? Um, and what was being transferred? Was it another Fast and Furious that was going down in Benghazi? Um, that's what I want to find out. Um, basically, another reason why I am opposed to another war, is I don't believe that we have the moral high ground anymore. And the financial situation that we're in, um, being that we've been at war for 10, 11 years now, um, I don't believe we can start another war, especially not holding the moral high ground. I don't think we can survive that. I don't think allies, creditors, I don't think I don't think people would go for that. Especially if we didn't hold the moral high ground, which I don't think we do. Especially with drone strikes, um, we're killing kids everywhere. There's been documented over 200 plus kids, uh, children that have died from drone strikes. So I mean that doesn't sound like more high ground. We have Gitmo that's still open. 86 prisoners that are freed and cleared to be released that are still being detained in Gitmo. And there's a hunger strike going on for months now. And Yeah, so I don't. All these things don't sound like moral high ground to me. Um, Also, we're supporting apartheid in Palestine, where Israel just announced that they're doing more settlements. I mean, come on, Israel, what are you guys doing? I have nothing against y'all, but what are y'all doing? Y'all just stealing land. Like, come on. And you want us to back you to do a strike on whoever in the Middle East, and you're stealing land? That's not holding the moral high ground. We can't. At least us, we can't afford it. We can't afford to get involved in another war without having the moral high ground. I mean, I'm sorry. We gotta. Just not gonna be able to win it. Um. Oh. Also, I need to bring up Egypt and what's going on in Egypt. Basically, you had the Arab Spring, which was a military coup that happened back in, I think it was like 2010. And we failed to recognize and call that a military coup when we were, basically, alright, back it up first. For 30 years, we were supporting a dictator, Mubarak, in Egypt, and he was basically he was ruthless with his civilians. We were supplying them with tear gas and stuff, and they were using that against their own civilians and stuff. And yeah, basically we were backing Mubarak, and we didn't back the Egyptian Revolution, the Arab Spring, until pretty much it was a done deal. Mubarak was out. He was leaving, and basically what happened was it was a military coup, and we failed to recognize it as a military coup, and we just called it a revolution, and we didn't call it what it was, and because we failed to call it what it was, aid. Foreign aid continued to pour into Egypt. And so all the conservatives that are bitching and moaning about aid going to the Muslim Brotherhood, well, you failed to recognize it as a military coup back then. So help us recognize it as a military coup now. And we can defund aid to Egypt and all these other countries around the world. Not only one, because we don't need to be sending money to prop up dictators around the world, but also we got our countries falling apart. Look at Detroit. Detroit's horrible. Like it's bankrupt. Detroit just went into bankruptcy. You got buildings falling apart, factories that are empty. GM just opened up a plant in China, so they're not even making cars out in Detroit no more, or even in the States. So, I mean, we don't have the money, one, to be borrowing from another country to send to some other country. We don't have money to be borrowed from China to send to Egypt. Two, our country's falling apart, so we need to rebuild America, and we need to put some of that money that was going into aid into work here. And thirdly, we have NSA. NSA has been spying on everybody. Yeah, basically there's been 3 major programs that have come out. Keystroke, Prism, God, I forgot the third program. But anyways, and then you also had the NSA director lie to Congress. Clapper, James Clapper, he came out and straight lied. Man, I'm gonna post the link down below. But yeah, just look at his body language. You know a lie when you see a lie, and this guy is a terrible poker player. Because this is the biggest tell I've ever seen in my life. um, but yeah, the NSA is pretty much spying on. How are we spying on our friends? That's just messed up. Just messed up, yo. Spying on our friends, and then we're spying on ourselves. Spying on every American citizen. They want us to act like, oh, we don't get content, but they're just dancing around figures or whatever. They're dancing around semantics. They get emails. If your email's been, if it's older than 180 days and it's still saved in your account, the government gets it for free. There was like a 1980 something law. 1986 law was passed in like in 1986 before anybody really had emails other than like huge major like NASA companies. Back when the internet, the world, well, it wasn't the internet, it was the World Wide Web, which prehistoric supercomputers communicating with each other. Anyways, yeah, so these are the reasons why I am opposed to war and continuing our violations of our civil liberties via the NSA, and I'm opposed to funding our enemies in which is Al Qaeda in Syria, and I'm opposed to supporting military coups, and we need to uphold the rule of law and recognize this military coup as a coup, and stop funding to Egypt. Not that I'm against Egypt or Egyptians, because I actually am kind of fond of Egypt, but I'm opposed to. I like the rule of law, and we have laws that say that we don't support military coups. Yeah. No, especially over a democratically elected government. How would you like if Obama got elected and China or Russia was like, ah, we don't like Obama, so yeah, we're gonna have the general whoever of the U.S. military throw out Obama, and we're gonna put somebody else in. And this is Russia or China or the UN or NATO or Saudi Arabia or any other foreign power. How would you like if Canada or Mexico or anybody like that, or England? Ooh, the Brits. How would you like if they came in and told us, like, oh, you just elected Obama? I'm sorry, too bad, so sad. We don't like Obama. Get him out of here. We'll kill him off, and we'll put somebody else in, like Mitt Romney. Oh yeah, we like Mitt Romney. He's a better place. How would you like if somebody forced Mitt Romney down your throat? Okay. So yeah, let's recognize this military coup as a coup, and uphold the rule of law. Okay. See y'all later.